Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Tuesday at lunch. We're glad that you've joined us, wherever it is that you're tuning us in, and a lot to dive into today here on this Tuesday afternoon, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College. Couldn't do the program without any of our great corporate partners and all our sponsors, by the way. And Randy, we got basketball tonight. Auburn back on the hardwood, only 2 games left in the regular season tonight, and then Georgia comes calling on Saturday, and that's it for the regular season. This game has scared me for about 3 weeks because I had a feeling Missouri would have no wins in conference play when we roll into town, and you know how we are from time to time shooting the basketball. And I've watched Missouri several times this year, you know, just barely get beat, and especially in their building. Take teams, they took Tennessee for a ride for 3/4 of that game a couple of weeks ago up there. I mean, Missouri led that game a lot. So they're gonna. This is senior night for them tonight too. So of course they're gonna try to do everything they can to get their first SEC win tonight. It's a lot at stake. I mean, this is not a you look down, it's 0-16, but you better show up and play. But you'll be their first win. And if Auburn were to lose this game, I don't want to start off with a negative connotation, but if they were to lose this game, man, you're going to fall several spots in the seeding in the NCAA tournament. A game like this is not going to vault you up higher than where you are 4 or 5, but it sure can knock you down several notches.
Well, it can also show that we're getting a little consistency, and I'm still concerned about our guard play. I think we'll hit on that quite a bit, but you know, the inconsistent play there is going to rear its ugly head when it gets to tournament play, and somebody's got to go get a bucket at a really, really crucial time.
Scared for that.
And so I'm a little bit concerned there, but nonetheless, this is a very bad Missouri team that you're 0-16 for a reason. You don't just barely run into that. I mean, you may almost win some basketball games, but when you're 0-16.
They get beat at the end of the game a lot. You know, they hang in there, and, you know, teams obviously are better than them, kind of take over with about 10 minutes to go in the game and end up controlling the game. Can we do that tonight? I hope so.
I hope so. I would like to see us play like we did on the road, say at Vandy. Where Vandy had their moments where they were in it, and then we just imposed our will about midway through the second half, and we really, you know, had a really good outing by Dylan Cardwell, if you remember, in that ball game. Janai Broome really played well. Chad Baker-Mazara continues to play well. And he may be the X factor on this team, because back to my initial thought, Auburn with the basketball 4 feet outside the three-point arc, down by 2, needing a bucket, who goes and gets it for you? Who creates it and goes and gets it for you is so important. Look, I'm
afraid we don't have anybody. I would probably put the ball in Denver Jones' hands.
You may put it in Denver Jones' hands. I think Chad Baker-Mazara may be another one that we'll look to put it into with his length, his ability to shoot the ball from 8 to 12 feet out. And, Brett, you and I just sat in the broadcaster seat for pretty much an entire week this past week. And I know it's high school, but it's the exact same game. When you need a bucket, somebody's got to have the ability to get to a spot and get a nice, good open look.
No doubt.
Even when defended, even when defenses are throwing a couple of people at them. And right now I'm really concerned about Auburn when it comes to that. Aiden Holloway, I definitely don't think is that guy. Trey Donaldson, for whatever reason, the last 3 or 4 games has taken a step back on the offensive end. I tell you who hasn't. You know, Chad Baker-Mazara definitely hasn't.
Right.
You know, Chaney Johnson hasn't.
Chaney Johnson's getting better. It's good to see that Chaney Johnson and Denver Jones have progressed throughout the year. And concerned about Denver Jones shooting early in the season. Couldn't hit anything. Now he's gotten more consistent out there. He's had to handle the point more than he would probably like to, or that Coach Pearl would like him to, because of the lack of production we've had out of the other guys. So you're trying to mix and match and and make something out of nothing at the guard position. And really, going into the season, we thought that was probably going to be one of our stronger suits. You had KD coming back. You had Trey Donaldson coming back off of a really good ending to last year. I thought he was probably the best player we had in the NCAA tournament last year. Felt real good about him coming back. Then you had Aiden Holloway coming in as a 5-star. We thought we were set at point.
Well, let me run down these stats. Those 3 guys this past weekend, 7 points combined.
Not good enough.
7 assists combined. 2 rebounds combined.
You know, and I said this to you last week. You need to get 24 to 25 points out of your point guard / shooting guards up there at the top in a combination. That don't mean one guy's got to go for 25, but they need to be getting 8 apiece.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range. They got 7 together. That's
out of those 3. That's adding KD
saying.
into the mix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
so
KD led the 3.
You got 7 points out of 3 guys is not going to get it done, and it's going to end your run in March pretty quick because guard play is what carries you in tournaments. And we've seen this before, and I look down at Auburn's record. If Auburn had elite guard play, they'd be 25-4 or 26-3. We've lost 3 or 4 games because our guards haven't been able to do what they needed to do in crunch time, period.
Let me jump in right here. You know, hate to see what happened with Leor Berman to close out his career.
Terrible, man.
You know, he has played well this year, and if anything, with a couple of guys taking a step back, he seems to be even more needed moving forward. Looked like he was going to have some opportunities to really play. And, you know, you and I have had the good fortune of watching him play for 7 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. You know, he was one of the mainstays there on that Mountain Brook squad that won 3 state championships in a row. And he was the X factor. Look, they had Trendon Watford with him, and he was special. But Leor was a 15, 16-point per game guy in that chaos system that they run with full court pressure. And, you know, he was the one that was causing. So I hate to see it even more from my memory with him playing in high school basketball, maybe even more from what he's done at all.
Man, the irony behind Mountain Brook playing and losing that game Saturday and Leo Berman going down. Randy, did you know that happened simultaneously?
Was it at the exact same time?
I had a split screen.
Yeah.
So, literally, Mountain Brook missed that last shot in overtime, and Leo Berman went down in the lane with a knee injury. It was odd. You know, I'm sitting there, and I don't know how many people were thinking that or watching that.
I can assure you,
I'm like, Mountain Brook just lost in high school, and one of their better players in school history is laying on the floor, possibly with a career-ending injury. It's just really, really weird to watch because I was watching both of those games at the same time, like we were talking about before we came on the air. But, our thoughts and prayers to him. Just what a great guy, man. What a great ambassador for Auburn. Bruce Pearl, you could tell, was extremely upset about that, as any coach would be when they have a player go down. It just shows you how much he cares about those kids. And, you know, just to end a career like that, he was getting more minutes. He was becoming more of a substantial player. Now Auburn's going to have to go forward without him. And, you know, again, somebody's going to have to step up that's not stepped up to this point. We thought Aiden Holloway may have at Georgia, but now we've gone right back to where we were before. So, and, you know, and he really can't complain. He got 21 minutes Saturday. He's being given the opportunity to try to show that he can be the guy. But when you run out there for 21 minutes in SEC play, you don't score.
And you're at the point. So you know the ball's running through you.
And you only had 1 assist.
It's a major –
How? You're non-factor.
It's a major, major concern. It's his ability to create. I wonder how –
He can't, man. I mean, that's –
Isn't it so hard to watch, say, that high school game? You and I just witnessed 56 games this past week. And I asked this on air with a couple of coaches that do the broadcast with me. I say, how hard is it to watch a high school game and then to guess what this kid's going to look like and factor in when he gets into the college game? And, you know, one that did broadcast with me, Steve Ward, who played at Huffman, was also a 1,000-point scorer at Alabama A&M. He said there's really no comparison.
Right.
And it's the defensive presence that you get in the college game, especially on a guard like Holloway. Is that what you see?
Yeah,
Brett?
he cannot get around.
Can't get separation.
He can't come off a pick, even and get separation there. It's unfortunate, man, because this kid was highly touted, McDonald's All-American, but sometimes it doesn't translate. I mean, you go to camps, you go to summer, league play and do the things that these kids do now. And, the game, I saw a thing on social media the other day about the way the game's being coached and played in these AAU. It's kind of it's ruining fundamental basketball. And this was a coach talking about that. I can't remember which coach it was, but they were talking about the fun. It's like all this high flying alley-oop, not really teaching defense. But when you get into system play and you get into a conference like the SEC where you got Rick Barnes and Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates and these guys that really press and Calipari that preach defense and how important it is, this ain't AAU ball anymore, man.
Well, it's a great point made there. And I think that when they get older and they end up on what is considered these all-star teams, we're playing an AAU tournament this weekend. And I can say when you're like from the 4th through 8th grade, you're coached up pretty much like you're coached up at your school ball but then by the time they're in 9th, 10th grade.
It's showboat time.
Well, they've moved into all-star teams.
Right.
They've moved into select teams.
Right.
Again, Coach Ward, I hate to keep bringing him up, but Coach Ward was also talking about being one of these Nike guys.
Yep.
And a Nike guys you take Salim London, you take Dwayne Brown, you take Jacoby Hill over at Phoenix City. All of these kids are select guys, Nike guys, that end up on pretty much all-star squads. Well, you're not in a team-oriented, system-oriented
No, and everybody's trying to get theirs in that system.
They need to be seen.
That's exactly right.
And look, I just ran down a majority of our top players here in this state, so I'm not knocking that you need to be out there and you need to be playing. But I do understand that when you get into the college game and you're pressured the way that they're taught to pressure defensively, it's not just clear it out, see who can create. It's not that.
It's affected. It's affected him for sure. And I don't know. Can he progress? Can he get better? I read a thing about Michael Jordan, and everybody knows the story of him getting cut. From the varsity team, had to play JV, and it talked about his mom basically telling him, "You want to make the team, get better. Go work, go do." She didn't get mad. She didn't call the AD. She didn't call the coach. She didn't say, "Why is my baby not playing?" But we've taught complete opposite of that in society now. If you're not getting the minutes and you're not performing, well, it's somebody else's fault. I'm not saying Aiden Holloway's going to leave. Hope he doesn't. But I don't think there's anybody out there that would be surprised that at the end of the season he went and tried to go somewhere else. And again, whose fault is that? I mean, it's not Bruce Pearl's fault. Well, he had 21 minutes in the game.
Well, he's our highest-rated recruit ever.
That's right.
In school history. So it's not – I don't think Bruce Pearl set that rating.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a lot of people that watched and thought a lot of him. And, hey, it looked like at the start of the season he's going to be an 18-point-per-game guy. Right. Who knows what happened?
Maybe he
just happens.
Snap out of it somehow. But I think it's more of a culture deal. And, again, I hope he doesn't. But that's what we have now in this society now is people just – they'll take the easy way out instead of, trying to stick it out and figure out how to get better where they are. Up against the first break of the show. Don't go anywhere. Just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
Here are 3 great Chevrolet offers from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Check out the powerful full-size and fully loaded Chevrolet Silverado High Country, discounted up to $13,000 off. Or the roomy midsize 3-row SUV, the Chevy Traverse, discounted up to $8,000 off. And the perfect size Chevy Equinox, up to $7,500 off. No payments until summertime. Over 300 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here on this Tuesday. We'll go back to the comments we got coming in. David said, I enjoyed watching those high school players pull up and knock down mid-range jumpers. I would love to see more of that on the college level rather than all or nothing with the dunks or threes. One of the things I noticed in the games that we called, the teams that did get to the basket and finished were teams that won and moved on. Now, there were a lot of teams that was – the goal, you could tell, to get downhill and get to the rim, but there were some that could get to the rim but couldn't finish, girls and boys. And Chad Keeson was my broadcast partner for 2 days, and we both noticed that. And, teams that could get there and finish. That is obviously, that's Mountain Brook ball too. You either shoot a three or you get to the rim. And that's kind of the way it's getting taught now. There's not a lot of 10, 12-foot jump shots because of the analytics and the percentages and stuff like that, which makes sense. But I agree with David. It is fun to watch kids pull up from 10 to 12 feet and knock down jump shots because, that's kind of what the game was built on, but it's different now.
I called 5A, 6A, 7A for a couple of days in the semis, and I've had a lot of people here locally ask why, from our portion of the state south, are we struggling winning state championship?
Right.
And I made mention to someone yesterday that you and I had a meeting with that the problem right now in this state is the size differential.
Oh, no doubt.
The Birmingham area and Huntsville, let's just start with 7A. Here's the differences. You had Phoenix City matching up with Hoover. Phoenix City's post is 6'4", 6'5". Are they athletes? Unreal athletes. I mean, top of the glass jumping athletes. But from a size standpoint, with Dwayne Brown and Sheffield that they had coming off the bench, 6'9", 6'10", big, strong guys. And Dwayne Brown pretty much handled that Central Phoenix City team. Hoover, matching up with Auburn's girls on the girls' side. Sarai Daniels, an Auburn University commitment. Also, Jordan Hunter, an Auburn University commitment. Two of the best guards, two of the best overall girls' talents in the state. Thank the Lord Auburn's getting them. But they both had to match up with Hoover. And Chloe Ford's down in the post at 6'3 plus with these long arms. And, you know, once the ball got to her on the block, it's a bucket.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hear, David, I've heard a lot of people over here question why in the world can't we win it. Well, sometimes the matchups aren't good.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't match up well with the team, and that happens. So, but yeah, I mean, good points. You know, but again, it is more of a get to the rim or shoot a three. Let's see. Ty said, do you think high school will go to a shot clock in the near future? Man, I had a game. I thought we were going to see one possession for both teams in a quarter, and it was. You know, it was I can't remember which one it was. It was Trinity and whoever they were playing, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, Trinity went down, got fouled, made the first two free throws, and then the other team came across half court and held the ball for 3 minutes and had no intention. I'm thinking, man, we're about to see what we've seen every blue moon, where a team says, all right, we're going to limit this thing and run the clock. It didn't end up being that way, but I think eventually we will see a shot clock. I think it will change the game for the better in high school. And you know what? If they don't, I don't blame coaches for using the rules to their advantage. If you know there's a team that outmatches you tremendously, then you need to do what you can within the rules to give yourself a chance to win the game.
I'd like to see it. You know, you don't see it near as much of an issue as, say, 15 years ago when you and I first started doing the broadcast. It was a problem then.
Oh, yeah.
Certain teams that didn't have the matchups, they would do that. Well, the difference has been the change of defensive presence.
Right.
I mean, these really good teams, nobody goes and sits in a zone. Those days are over. If you're coaching youth basketball and you're teaching your kids to get back in the zone inside the three-point arc, I get why you're doing it. But you're not teaching them anything they're going to see in the high school ranks.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Did you call one game where a team got back in the zone and didn't pressure?
Now, they would change out from man to zone, during a possession.
After they pressed, probably most of the time.
After they pressed.
But they still tried to speed them up.
Yeah, you're always speeding up.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just the way the game's played.
Now, 15 years ago, we'd see them run back, sit in the zone, want them to jack up a shot from the perimeter and go get a rebound. I'm going with a point here. You know, but we called the Jasper, or we saw the Jasper and Scottsboro Girls State Championship game. Well, Jasper got up by 2.
Right.
They held the ball. They pretty much ran the clock from
3 minutes.
3:40 down to a minute.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't know who likes it. I mean, and yes, there may be some logistical issues that are the reasons that they don't go to the shot clock, but
that is it though. If you get that lead, there is no clock. You don't have to shoot again. You heard me say this in a regional a couple years ago when and I won't name teams. They had a 6 or 8 point lead with about 4 minutes to go in the game. I'm like, hold the ball.
Yeah.
Hold the ball. No, instead it was run down, shoot as fast as you could. Well, what are you doing? You're giving the other team another possession.
Do you like it? Would you like to see a shot clock?
I like a shot clock. I think a shot clock is a big part of basketball. You shouldn't be able to go out there and sit with the ball. But if there is no shot clock and I'm coaching,
yeah, agree.
Hey, go stand over there and hold it.
Yeah.
Make them come out and play defense on you. I mean, it's just being.
Is it Maurice Ford at Fairfield?
Yes.
Coaches it well. Boy, he gets a lead. He going 4 corners you. He got athletes running around. They're going to run that clock down. He's sitting over there with kind of a grin on his face.
Come foul me, man.
Y'all be as upset as you want, but I'm about to run this thing.
But I'm going to take a blue map back with me.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember. I don't really care what everybody in the stands thinks, but my team's going to win a championship. If you get the shot clock in there, you can't do that anymore. Up against another break, stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters. Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dayville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Glad to have a new sponsor. We got several new sponsors, but one that we're excited about down in Auburn. We've been spending some time with them. Kathy at Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, just glad to have them on board. Saw the new spot that we just ran. They've got weekly specials. If you haven't been to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, you're selling yourself short, man. Took some of the hamburgers and the steaks back from their meat department back there. They cut those things for you while you're there. But they got these weekly specials. So after 2 o'clock, you can come in, and every day it's something different. Today, they got fried or grilled chicken or a pork chop, and it comes with 2 sides, and it's got mac and cheese, sauteed green beans, steamed broccoli, asparagus. You got all types of vegetable melody that you can pick from. So there's just a lot. And, man, what a great place.
Yeah, several new sponsors right there in the same area. It's a great part of town there in Auburn. We've got Baumhauer's coming on board with us, and Byron's, Kevin Tudhope, owner of both of those, and glad to have both of them coming on. We're going to have plenty of food to pass along out there.
No doubt.
Brett and I, especially from 12 to 1 when we haven't eaten all day, we like talking about food. Now, when I leave here at 1, I want to go eat, which is
bad.
Completely goes away from the conversation you and I were having during the break. But, yes, several great places. And if you're out there and you're looking for a way to get your brand and promote and advertise, nothing better than Sportz to do that.
No, absolutely. And, again, this is the second location for Pepper Tree. They've been in Montgomery for 25-plus years, but now a new place opened up in October. Just a great place to go out at East Glen. Really right across from Academy and all those areas. You can find it right there on East Glen. Again, weekly specials, we'll be talking about them every day. It's going to be hard. We need to get some of that shipped in, Kathy, if you're watching out there. Big thanks to them for joining Auburn Blitz. Auburn on the floor tonight against Missouri. This Missouri team, like you said, is 0-16 for a reason. They're not good. You know, they had a good team last year.
They did.
Know, they came in, and, man.
That's a good program.
Talk about depleted.
And always, you know, that's a program when you get – they're not very talented at all in the guard. They did fall apart. And, you know, they lost a lot of size. They lost those two big guys down on the post. One of them coming from the state of Alabama. His name's escaping me now. But you and I had the good fortune of seeing him over in Birmingham playing for championships way back in the day. And he moves on, and it's just harder and harder to compete. We need to count our blessings here in the state of Alabama that we've got Bruce Pearl, and if you're an Alabama fan, Nate Oates over there. I mean, those two guys are doing it as well as anyone of finding talent when the team's pretty much gone from the previous year. Luckily for Auburn, we've held on to enough of our guys for 3 or 4 years. I mean, Alabama just completely flipped roster and doing the same thing.
Right. So, you're going to have to get you got to learn to adapt in this world now. If you don't, you get left behind for sure. From one year to the next doesn't mean anything anymore. You can be terrible one year. Missouri can be back on top next year. They go out and get the right guys to come in. But this team only averages 72 points a game, which is horrible. Auburn averages about 83 points a game. So, if Auburn goes in and does what they're supposed to do defensively against this team, I think it won't be a problem. Every single win by this Auburn team this year has been by double digits, 22 of them. I go back and say what I said a few weeks ago, that Mississippi State loss on the road after losing to Alabama is going to haunt this Auburn team. This would be a 12-4 Auburn team right there in the mix to win the regular season. Alabama's got to play Florida tonight. Tennessee's got to go to South Carolina and play. Auburn was sitting – they would be sitting right where they need to be to have a share of this championship. And, Randy, it's going to be that Mississippi State game on the road where they just played horrible. They let one loss carry over into another. They lost to Alabama, fought back in that second half, almost had a chance to win that game, took the lead actually twice, but then went over to Mississippi State, where Mississippi State also knocked Tennessee off in the hump. So I know it's not an easy place to play, but when you go back and look at the losses Auburn has had in SEC play out of the 5, that one's going on them.
Checking out bracketology, I know a little bit early, but Auburn looks to maybe be a 4 or 5 seed if everything were to close out today, depending on what we do in the SEC tournament and closing out the season. But a 4 or 5 seed is where we look. And, I'm just looking down at the 12 and 13 seeds, the possible matchups that Auburn could see once the NCAA tournament. Well, that's App State's one, but also Samford. That's a Bucky McMillan-led Samford program that's, 26-3 or 4?
Yeah.
Winners of their conference. They've got a big post guy. They've got that system play that you and I like, and we talk a lot about coming from here. And they've gone out there and gotten enough talent to be very, very competitive. And I think that's the regular season championship in the Southern Conference for the last 2 years.
Yes.
That would be, hey, don't think that the guys that are putting this thing together wouldn't put an Auburn at a 4 or 5 against a Samford at a 12 or 13, knowing the dynamic that would go on there.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't think it's going to be a close proximity like it possibly could have been or like it was last year. I mean, you're looking at, Spokane, Washington, Salt Lake City, Pittsburgh, somewhere like that possible for Auburn. Looks like they're going to head out west if it's either Spokane or Salt Lake City. But got some comments coming in. Jim made a comment here about Dalton Connect. He said, that story should be evidence for these young and upcoming players that hard work pays off. He had 0 Division I offers.
Well, let's make sure real quick the reason he did. He went from 5'10" as a junior to 6'2" as a senior. He averaged 21 points, right at 22 points a game as a senior in high school. Does get an offer to a junior college. I mean, he goes from 5'10" to 6'2", and then grows from 6'2" to 6'6" plus.
That always helps.
His first year in college.
That always helps.
Yeah, it is one, but you also got to have the good Lord smiling down on you and get you about 4 or 5 inches.
Same thing happened to Chaney Johnson.
Yeah, same thing also happened to Dr. J back in the
Sure
day.
did. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
.76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Egg rolls are back at Zaxby's. They're hand-rolled and come with a delicious sweet and spicy dipping sauce. But enough from me. Let the egg rolls do the talking. And there you have it. 2 for $3 egg rolls. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs. Or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Fried chicken, and wontons, and teriyaki glaze, and an egg roll. Some people think the Zaxby's Sensation Salad is too delicious to be a salad. Yep, that's why we call it a salad. The Zaxby's Sensation Salad. Zaxby's.
Couple more segments here on today's show. We're glad that you joined us. Program's brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College. All three of those super busy in their fields right now, which is great to see. And if you need Russell Do-It Center or J. Smith or Central Alabama Community College, get in touch with them. They're three of the best in their area, which is great for us here on the Auburn Blitz. Jim said, Randy, what do you think of the college football coaches being able to communicate with players in their helmets now? Does that stop signs stealing? I mean, it should.
Yeah, I think it would make a difference.
It should.
Yeah. Gosh, it could only help. Could you imagine playing, say, in the secondary, and you got a coach that has the ability to talk to you on what he's seeing to go along with what you're seeing?
You can be running down the field and they'd be talking to you.
And you're confused and what you're seeing compared to what kind of formation changes that they've got going on.
Right.
I'm just putting myself back in shoes back in the day of how much that would really help to have someone in the ear. It can't do anything but make the game better. It's going to make it tougher to coach. It's going to make it tougher to coach on the offensive side. Do you agree? I would think I'm talking about to be able to set up formations and packages that are going to make it difficult defensively. You're going to have so much help coming from the sideline from a defensive standpoint that you've not
Trying
had
to get people
before.
lined up and all. Yeah, I mean, I think, hey, look, it's been going on in the NFL for a while. I figured it would be in the college game pretty soon. It's here. Also implementing the 2-minute warning in the first and the second half. So you get down. And Andy and I talked about this the other day. I mean, if they're going to speed the game up the way they're speeding it up, because the clock don't stop now, basically, on a first down. As soon as they get it spotted, it's rolling again. I mean, it's one of those situations where they needed to probably put the 2-minute warning in.
Did you like the new changes in high school with the double bonus after 5 fouls per quarter?
I'm fine with that.
It changed a lot of games.
It
did you feel it changed games?
Absolutely it did.
I mean, if you got –
because your fouls start over every quarter.
New change, you used to have 1-and-1 after 7 fouls, double bonus after 10. Now your fouls start over after every quarter. So if you get to 5 fouls, though, it's not a 1-and-1, it's a double bonus. And it's a double bonus from there on out. And I had a few games that got to 5 fouls with 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
And, man, that changed up everything because you would see teams get very aggressive going downhill, attacking defenders, knowing that if they got a foul, they got 2 free throws. And if you could go to the line and knock them down,
strategy,
it makes that free throw line more and more important. That's one thing I noticed in these games.
No doubt about it. Roger said it works in baseball. It's got to work in football, talking about the communication with the coaches and stuff. Ty says, I think Missouri will have a hard time stopping Broome and Williams tonight. I hope so. Need that to happen. Steve says, we're talking a little football. I said, can we get another quarterback not named Thorne as starter next year? I have little confidence in Thorne's ability. He missed open receivers last year, multiple pick 6 passes. It wasn't a good year. I mean, there's no other way to spin it. Now, spring break right now, so no football this week for Auburn. They'll be back at it next week. So they started last week. Who emerges out of spring? I don't know. I'm probably nobody is a clear-cut starter would be my guess. You'll see in the portal window, though, what Hugh Freeze thinks about what he's got. Because if it is a panic mode, I'm going out there trying to grab somebody, then he doesn't have any confidence in the guys in that room to be the guy. But I think, and I said this on Gary Harris's show Friday, I think come time to start the season, it'll be Walker White. That 9 months on campus, don't think you're going to see it coming out of spring. I may be wrong. But that much physical ability, he's got it already. He already looks the part. It's going to be, can you pick up on the offense? Can you do the things that you need to do to compete? And, look, we saw Bo Nix start at Auburn as a freshman. He was all SEC. It can be done. It's tough in this league, but if you got the right guy, they can do it. They can handle it. I just think, for my money, I would put it on Walker White.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I feel like we got 6 spots open. Some of the best quarterbacks that would end up on the transfer portal didn't end up during this first cycle.
But they could in the second one.
Went back to their school, and they're going to compete in spring to see if they can win the starting job. And you know, there's schools like Ohio State and Georgia and some others that's got 4 and 5 stars on the roster. And not all of those guys. You got to think some of those are going to have a couple of guys enter the portal. So if there's issues that you find in the spring that aren't answered, I would rather be patient and go and get one of those guys than to jump out there and have gotten a guy that you aren't convinced is going to be better than the ones that you've got in the room. And unfortunately, I think we'll lose a couple too. I think that if they don't win the job, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that Hank Brown sticks in there if he doesn't win the job, and he's got a chance to win the job. Yep. He looked better than Holden Garner in that bowl game.
Yeah, nobody's even talking about him.
Well, I think because we saw what we did in the bowl game. Right. And we've heard a buzz around him for 2 years, but it never proves that he ends up on the field much more than anyone else. So I think both of those guys, you could possibly see them move on and would open the door, but I'm hoping it's Walker White, but I know that you better be braced if it is his with the highs and lows that you could get in year one. I'm braced for it.
Yeah.
Like if we won 8 or 9 games with a freshman quarterback and I saw the ceiling, I'd be, oh, man, go ahead and sign me up for that.
Yeah, if you win 8 or 9 with Walker White at quarterback, man, the future's bright.
I agree.
I think you feel good. And like Andy said yesterday or the day before, he said, look, I will sacrifice right now if I know in 2 years we're going to have a program built on a foundation, not on sandstone, that is going to what we've yearned for really since we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Year after year after year, you're putting a product on the field that's going to compete at the top of the league. Not one year you could win it all, next year you could be at the bottom. Yeah, I think we're exhausted from that. Putting a consistent program on the field year in and year out. I'll sacrifice it right now. Last year obviously didn't go the way anybody wanted it to go, but we were braced. We knew there was a dump left behind by Harsin. And, you know, I thought that Hugh Freeze did the best he could do with what he had. Now, there were times that even he questioned some of the stuff that they did. He said, look, we should have been better than we were. He said it in the post-game press conference after the bowl game. He said, I'm not making excuses that we should have even been better than I thought we were going to be, and we didn't do it. So everybody has things to work on. Freeze has had to go in and make some corrections and hire some new coaches. He's had to go out and get a better roster. He knew that roster management was important. Jason Caldwell was on here Friday. He said, had to get a better looking. We look different. Now, I don't know what that translates to, but he said, you go to practice now, it's a different looking team out there.
Some of them are those freshmen.
Exactly.
And the main one that everybody's pointing to is Cam Coleman.
Of course. Did you see the video of him catching it one-handed?
He's beautiful. He looks like Julio.
He looks just like
and who's the last receiver we had that I could ever mention Julio Jones
like
in the same? No.
Man, the sky's the limit, man. No doubt. If he can get one of these guys to get him the football, could be fun, no doubt. Up against the break, stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Catch a ride, not a buzz.
Hey, can you come get me?
Being buzzed still counts. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, want to thank Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College for their corporate partnership here on the program. Ty said he heard Bucky McMillan might be a candidate for the Vanderbilt job if they make a change with Stackhouse.
I'd hire him. If you told me Bruce left in 3 or 4 or 5 years and we hired him, I'd take him tomorrow. I mean, the guy's winning at the college level. He gets fans, he gets students riled up. He did it at Mountain Brook. He's done it at Sanford. I mean, they have crowds like they've never had. I love the system. I love the. He's kind of like he's kind of like a professor. You know, he's got a lot of that analytics stuff built in, but he's got a good presence about him. Look, I'd buy in. He'd be great at Vandy.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be interesting to see. If he goes somewhere, if Vanderbilt makes a change. You know, last year Stackhouse had Vanderbilt playing good basketball. I mean, I think he won an award, maybe even Coach of the Year. And then now look at him this year. I mean, it's just how fast things can change in this this world we live in. So, especially in college sports. Let's go back this past weekend. Auburn took 2 out of 3 from a very good UConn team that went to a super regional last year. Well put together. I went to the game on Sunday. I saw them up close and personal. They got great players. You know, they haven't played but a couple series to this point because obviously they've been up in the snow up in UConn. So they came down here and won that second game from Auburn on Saturday. I played that doubleheader because of the rain on Friday, but Auburn continues to do what Auburn does. Pitching has been stellar. Joseph Gonzalez didn't have a good outing, left after only 2/3 of an inning, but you know they'd scored 4 runs. Really, Auburn matched them from then on out, and the rest of the game. So hopefully Gonzo will get better. Maybe that was just one of those outings. You know, he's still coming back, trying to get back into form off, you know, being out all last year. But Ike Irish continues at a rapid pace. He's hitting 370, hit 2 out on Sunday. One of the best players in the country, in my opinion. Mason Manners is hitting 324. You look down the line, and, there's 4 or 5 guys, 5 or 6 guys really, when you include Stansfield and Cooper McMurray and Bobby Pierce and these guys that Coach Thompson said on our show, that we're going to run out there every game that can hit the baseball. And you get 5, 6 guys in the lineup that are 300-plus hitters, Randy, man, you can compete with anybody.
It's a good run offensively for Auburn. Hopefully we can take advantage of it. I hope Joseph Gonzalez, there's not some kind of nagging issues going on that we're going to hear about. I haven't heard anything, so don't let me throw that out there.
No,
I'm hoping not, because a couple of years ago I thought he was going to be a kind of a game changer, a guy that you could run out there, the last couple of years that he'd be at Auburn and get you 7 innings maybe, and not overpowering, but good size presence out there, moves the ball around, and we need him, Brett. We need him solid once SEC play starts, or you're missing something there.
Yeah, but he can be if he's solid. This is as solid a starting rotation Auburn's ever had under Butch Thompson. Chase Alsop on Friday, another great out in 6 innings, only gave up one earned run, only walked 2, struck out 6. On Sunday, it was a combination of Carson Myers and Cam Tilley. I thought Cam Tilley came in and pitched really well. Went 4 innings, only gave up 3 hits and 1 run. Only walked 1 guy and worked very fast against this UConn team. Carson Myers was SEC pitcher of the week last week. He comes back in with another solid 4, got Cam Tilley some good work in there. And, of course, Will Cannon came in and closed out the game, only gave up that 1 hit there in the 9th inning. So this is solid pitching for Auburn to go with. Ike Irish, Manners, Pierce, McMurray, Fabian, Stansfield, all hitting 290-plus right now.
Facilities. Talk about that.
Yeah, outstanding. This is a 3-phase project at Plainsman Park, and they've completed that Hall of Fame club. I was fortunate enough to sit down there on Sunday right behind home plate, and it extends from one dugout to the other. So there's 2 rows of seating down there, plush seating, by the way, nice leather chairback seating, and then there's a rail behind that you can purchase a ticket in another section, but then you can also purchase the add-on to get in the Hall of Fame club, but you have to stand back there, which that was full too. So you can buy a ticket, and if there's an availability, you can buy standing room only, which gets you all the food and the drinks and all that go with it in the Hall of Fame lounge to honor Frank Thomas. So they're going to have that down the right field line. It's going to be another club type thing. It's going to have 2 levels to it. The 3rd phase will be taking out the press box, making suites, and then completing the grandstand above the green monster out there, which there'll be, nice seating all the way up on top of that green monster. They finished the patio out in right center field for all the students. It's right by the opposing team's bullpen. That was strategy, like you've seen in Ole Miss and Mississippi State. It's just going to be, when they're finished in 2026, this is going to be back to one of the more premier parks in the country.
It's a great facility and a great spot. I always like the bones of that.
Oh, man, it's gorgeous, man.
Just the overall layout and where it is and the green monster. And
it's unique.
The bones are great, and I'm glad that we're adding to it because, our baseball deserves it right now. I mean, Butch Thompson's got us.
We've been to 2 World Series since 2019.
He's got us at a level that Hal Baird had for a short period of time. I mean, Hal Baird had a very solid program, but for
94, 97 World Series there for Hal Baird, 19 and 22 for Butch Thompson already. I hope he's there 15 more years.
I hope he's only getting going too. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Shift over, talk about our softball team for a second. Again, Maddie Penna continues to be, she may be the best pitcher in the country. A no-hitter. And a perfect game last week for Maddie Penna, only the 3rd perfect game in school history. You saw her last year do what she did. Shelby Lowe has been her compliment the whole time. Both of them, Auburn has the pitching. Can they continue to hit the ball? They only won that first game against Northwestern 1-0, but they come back, beat UC Upstate 10-4, North Texas 8-0, and then you see Upstate on Sunday 8-4. But they're 12-2 on the season, 12-2-1. Ended up with that tie against Virginia Tech, but we'll see when we get to SEC
Not bad,
play.
you know.
It's a good start.
Hopefully they can get a couple of balls to leave apart.
Women's basketball, go to Florida.
Played well.
Finish.
I watched a lot of it.
8-8 in conference play, 19-10 overall. Johnny Harris has got some great recruits coming in.
They play hard for her. I love her demeanor over there on the sideline. She's got two of the best here in the state of Alabama going to her, so it's a good run for Auburn basketball.
Yeah, looking forward to it. That's going to wrap it up here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, we'll be back with you same time, same place tomorrow. For Randy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you tomorrow.